Do you want to maximize muscle growth in the shortest period of time? Well, in today's episode, we're going to cover the rebound phase and why it's your ticket to maximum muscle growth. Okay, so the rebound phase, what is it and why is it important for you? So the rebound phase is that phase post-diet. Now, most people need to go through a mini cut phase, which is where they're dieting to get rid of the body fat in a relatively short period of time. Once you get lean enough, your insulin sensitivity is going to improve dramatically. Now, what does that mean? So insulin sensitivity is our way of building muscle and storing fat. So after a mini cut, you might have experienced this. You're either going to gain a huge amount of fat, even more so than you've lost, or you can gain a huge amount of muscle. And it all depends on how you approach this. And this is called the rebound phase. Insulin sensitivity is how we're going to grow a lot of muscle. It's how our body partitions nutrients. The leaner we get, the more improved our insulin sensitivity is, meaning that our body will produce less insulin to convert and store nutrients. Now, insulin isn't the enemy, so carbohydrates are not an enemy. They're not going to make you fat, okay? It's the abundance of calories that will make you fat. In the rebound phase, we are primed. Our body is like a sponge. Our body will absorb all the nutrients and everything that we give it. So if you're eating wildly in excess, eventually you're going to gain a huge amount of fat. So 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. It's quite easy to gain a good amount of fat back. Also, because the fat cells have just shrunk, they require less energy to activate. Okay, so that's an important factor. Now, in the rebound phase, your new maintenance is going to be far lower than what it was prior to the diet. You might have finished the diet on at least 1,000 calories or so lower than when you started. Your body mass has reduced, meaning that your overall caloric intake is far less requirements than what you used to have. So what does this mean? In the rebound phase, our goal is to, one, get you healthy, get you energized, get the recovery better. The important points to note here is you want to still basically treat this as the diet. The rebound phase is a 6 to 8 week period where your body can grow a huge amount of muscle. You need to still have a protein target. The protein target you had during the diet, you need to keep that. Carbohydrates, like I said, but not the enemy. It depends on what body type you are. If you gain fat very easily, your best bet is increasing carbohydrates around your workout, your pre-workout and post-workout times, and then building out back from there. Now, what do I recommend? In the post-diet phase, titrating calories around 300 calories per week as necessary. So what does that mean? You weigh yourself, you take pictures, you add 300 calories, you see how your body reacts. You take some more pictures and weight, and if you've increased a lot of weight, then you know that that's a good amount. You let that settle. If you've actually decreased in weight, which has happened to me many times, you know you have more room and you can increase the calories again. Now, protein really should probably stay about the same. We don't need to touch that. You're looking at carbs and fats, and really that's more preference. What do you feel better on? Do you feel better on a higher fat diet, or do you feel better on a higher carbohydrate diet? Carbohydrates are just energy, what you prefer. Now, with this, our diet and training should align. As our calories increase, our recovery capabilities are going to increase, our strength is going to increase, and with this, our exercise and volume can increase. So let's say you want to improve a body part like legs. In this time, we can change the program to having more frequency around leg training. So it might look like you're training legs twice a week, upper body once a week, okay? To really maximize that recovery phase and the muscle growth. This is what you can do in this 6 to 8 week period because you've got higher calories, you've got more recovery, and your body is primed for muscle growth. So any weak areas that you want to focus on, you can devote your time in this rebound phase. Now, mistakes I made in the rebound phase, okay? This is something I never even understood. My first rebound, I had dieted for my first bodybuilding show. I gained 10 kilos in 3 days. It was horrific. No one told me about this, no one warns me about this. I had this uncontrollable hunger because what happens is after you've dieted, the longer you diet and the more severe you diet, the higher your ghrelin, and that's your hunger hormone, will shoot up. Now in this phase, your hunger hormone remains really high. So this is where it's really important to focus on really satiating foods. Focus on whole foods, minimally processed foods. Do not go for all the cakes, the cookies, all the junk food that you really want. Focus on bulking out more of your diet foods. So have more oats, have more potatoes, all these kinds of things to satiate you more. Obviously, once a week, twice a week, have the odd treat. But this is a phase where you have no idea the hunger you will have if you start eating these highly processed foods. It'll be insane. And you'll think you'll get away with it, and you won't. And next thing you know, you're back to square one and you're fatter than ever. Now, whole foods are single ingredient foods that are minimally processed. Now, what's gonna satiate you more? A 150 gram bowl of oats with some berries or a bagel? Both are gonna be very similar calories, but one's gonna fill you up and have a lot more benefit. I made the mistake of just going for lots of easily digestible foods. And another thing to note is, if you've dieted for a prolonged period of time, you're going to get a level of intolerances, you know, depending on what you've removed. So for me, my fat goes very low, dairy goes very low. So when I introduce high fat foods, I feel really sick, I get a lot of stomach problems. So you've got to be careful and slowly introduce these foods back in, because you will pick up intolerances because of the removal of these items. Some things to remember. One, your hunger is going to be extremely high, so you need to have tactics to avoid the temptation. Lots of things I use: diet drinks, sparkling waters, caffeine, although I try and lower my caffeine intake during this phase because I've hammered the caffeine in the diet phase, so I'm trying to minimize that a little bit. And when I'm having my off-plan meals, I try and just go for healthier options rather than the pizzas and the burgers and all this calorically dense stuff. You know, I'll go for some, some Greek food, some Turkish food, something like that. That's quite satiating, but relatively healthy compared to the other options. Another thing to remember is you're probably going to feel worse in this phase than the diet. Depending on how hard you've dieted for, this is a recovery phase. You've just put your body through a lot of trauma. Your energy will be really low. You're not going to feel amazing. And in fact, a lot of the time I feel quite down. And it's just because you've put your body through so much. Energy will be really low, and it can take 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even longer. I've had some rebounds where I felt awful for a month. Be kind to yourself and accept the fact that although you're getting more food, you're not going to feel like an Energizer bunny, okay? You're going to feel pretty rubbish. Training wise, really quite important in this. You're going to have more food, your strength is going to go up, but this is not the time to go really heavy because you're still in a really vulnerable state. You're still in recovery. I don't train to failure. I stick a couple reps away from form failure, muscle failure, whatever, and I'll have my reps a bit more moderate. I'll keep it more 8 to 10, 8 to 12, and I'll use this time as a bit of a form reset. I'll introduce new exercises, practice the form, and then by the end of the first month, I'm in a good stride where I can start really pushing the weight and the reps up. If you push now, likelihood of getting injury is quite high, so don't. One of the most important things to do, because fat can just creep up, and it's happened to me so many times. I had the treat a couple weeks in, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm all good, and then week 3, I'm like, oh, I'm fat. So really important, tracking. Tracking's so important. Weigh yourself, take the pictures, take the measurements. You don't really want to be having more than 0.5 kilo weight gain per week, okay? If you're doing a lot more than that, then it's going to be a lot more fat. And we don't want to gain a lot of fat. Realistically, if everything is all good, most of you are able to gain 0.5 to 1 pound of muscle per month. That's it. Now you might be thinking that's not a lot, but if you buy a couple packs of steak mints and have a look at that, it's quite a lot of muscle. So when people are saying, oh, I've gained 4 or 5 kilos of muscle this month, you haven't. You've gained a mixture of some muscle, some fat, and some water. And our goal in this phase is to minimize the fat gain by having a small calorie surplus. And I've done it before where I've really hammed the calories thinking I'm going to get even bigger. And yes, I got bigger, I got fatter. So be careful, track, small calorie surplus, and be diligent with slowly increasing your foods week on week out, if you can. If your weight's going up, there is no need for you to increase your food. You keep it the same. If your weight's going down, increase your food. And if your weight's staying the same, have a look at everything. Have a look at other metrics. Is your performance in the gym going up? Are you getting stronger or are you regressing? Those are the factors you need to look at, and that's how you're going to make adjustments to your diet. If you stay strong in this, your whole year will be better. You will be leaner, you will gain more muscle, and all that dieting was worthwhile because you've set yourself up for success. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this content really helpful. I'll be producing more content to help you guys maximize your time in the gym. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.